When we talk about downtown, the feeling really is the collection of property and business owners that we have down here. What are we doing to continue to advance the agenda downtown? We talked about the organization, the property owners we represent, but we realize it's about more than just the district that we manage. The district in downtown manages about 24 million square feet of Class A office space, and for years the office market really has dominated where downtown Sacramento is. And one of the things that we also realized is it's got to be more than just a government town. This town has an opportunity really to be a destination, an iconic destination in the way of retail and economic development. We've had a lot of national accolades that have focused on Sacramento. Our staff and marketing term is Saccolades, and you can work on that if you'd like. But we talk a little bit about some of the media that's finally recognizing Sacramento. People did not pay attention to Sacramento in years past that are now taking us much more seriously. And we feel that Forbes' comment of Sacramento as one of America's coolest cities is accurate. We think this city's potential really is ahead of itself. There's new projects for us downtown filling our skyline. If you really take a walk and look at the district around us, it's a much different downtown than many people realize in years past. New investors are coming into downtown that didn't take us seriously in the past. And you know, we would make calls to retailers and brokers that were outside of the area that said, you know, we'll call you, we'll get back to you, and that really has changed. Yes, the Golden One Center has been a huge part of that, and there was a recent media that came out of the Golden One Center that said in their first 100 days they had 75 events there, and that's you know, a new event almost every 2 days taking place, and that is bringing down new bodies and users into downtown that we hope will be exposed to the future development in downtown. But getting to the opening of the arena, and if anybody, I'm hoping all of you went to the opening of the arena, but it was flawless. Many cities say you have one chance to do it right. We knew we had an opportunity really to change perceptions of people that were coming from out of the area and what downtown looked like and felt like. We wanted them to go back to the suburbs and talk about the experience they had downtown. The Kings, obviously, and Downtown Commons were critical in working on that opening, but the city of Sacramento, some key partners that we had around our district that I think all stepped in and said, we want to make sure we're working with you to put our best foot forward. The partnership organization in Midtown, R Street, Broadway, River District, West Sacramento, SACOG, but really more importantly, I want to single out, and I'm not sure where he's at, but Regional Transit and Henry Lee. Where's Henry? Is Henry here? Henry. The business community came together working with many of our elected officials, Supervisor Cerna, Chenier, Hansen, to really make a commitment to focusing on what the business community could do to help support the efforts of regional transit. And Henry, not only from the day he took over as general manager, wanted to change the culture in regional transit, but really make it a viable option for people, change the image of regional transit. He's done a tremendous job and something we hope regional transit and our expectation to work with them in the future. So Henry, great job. You know, the opening of the arena and really downtown in general, we realize there's a significant issue in making sure that the street environment looks good. Our community service staff, and you'll hear from Dion Dwyer later, that manages our community service programs, working with law enforcement, our partners at the police department, really play a role in managing the street environment. We've got crews on the streets 7 days a week, making sure people's experience, walkable streets, well-lit streets, street furniture, and these things are managed and taken care of, and they do an incredible job. We want people to feel good about walking and being downtown. And a lot of that momentum is translated into economic development success. In the past 2 years since the Golden One Center broke ground, we saw 34 signature properties sell downtown, totaling almost $750 million. That it far outpaces any development activity as it relates to sales that had happened in years past. Downtown property values are significantly increasing, and our 5-year office market leases and vacancy rates are the lowest they've ever been. And I think the business community deserves a huge amount of respect for doing that. One project we wanted to call out as an example of the capital markets that are coming downtown is the sale of the Wells Fargo building. The 400 Capitol Mall sold for about $175 million to Starwood Capital Group. And why that's significant? These folks were not downtown in the past looking for investments, and I can't tell you the way that the capital markets are looking at Sacramento in a much different environment than they have in the past, and we've got to take that opportunity now to realize we've got this momentum to really carry us through to potentially see some of our key properties continue to grow in assets. People are calling us back. Like I said earlier, there was an Valerie Werder that runs our retail recruitment and economic development programs. We'd go to ICSCs, we'd go to these conventions, they call us, people would say, yeah, we'll get back to you. Now calling us saying, oh, we've always loved you. Not really, but we want to take advantage of that momentum, and I think nowhere do we feel stronger than the employment base that we have downtown. And new businesses that are coming downtown that we hadn't seen in years past are changing the way people look at downtown and in the core. We've got new co-working spaces, entrepreneurial innovation, IO Labs, Impact Ventures are taking additional square feet downtown that I think would not have been downtown in the past, but we've got employees, and you can see on the screen here, we've got a number of new businesses that have opened up. We get calls from employers. They may be small firms to large businesses that say, my employees want to be downtown. We want to be part of this activity, the energy that really is the momentum down here and looking to move downtown. And so we do walking tours and send information out, pedestrian counts, and one of the things that we talk about through our Calling All Dreamers campaign, we do this event that is in its 5th year where we reach out to people that have an idea of opening a business, wanting to create a new opportunity to allow them to open a shop if they've always had a vision, working with them. And I think this next year we're going to focus on ground floor retail. The pedestrian environment has got to be active. When you leave your office at night or when you come downtown, we want the streets to be active. You may be going to the event at the Golden One Center or Community Center Theater, but we want you to come early, stay late, be part of an active urban district. And we've got about 100,000 employees downtown Monday through Friday. New projects like the Downtown Commons, Kings are adding new bodies, but something that can't be understated is the new Kaiser facility that's going to open on J Street. It's going to add 500 new jobs, and I think you'll hear about that a little bit later from Sandy Sharon opening up their business. But these are jobs that are going to be well-paid jobs of people that will be downtown supporting the retail and economic development. We've added a variety of traffic counters downtown. We're working with Motion Loft to put 16 pedestrian counters throughout downtown that we can actually track trends in retail and where people are going, how they're accessing downtown. And I would tell you from the brokerage community, if you're not working with us, work with us. We have the ability to help you in the way of driving new opportunities through our analytics department and what we're doing there. It's truly, we think, an inspiring time to be in the development cycle downtown. This project map that we've got, I'm looking the wrong way, highlights all the projects that are currently underway, proposed, or planned in downtown. And we think when we look maybe 2 to 3 years down the road, it's going to be a much more significant investment. Key projects like the 700 block of K Street are going to add activity right at the front door of the Golden One Center and bring retail and economic development and housing. The Downtown Commons project, many of you remember the old downtown plaza, will create an environment around the mall there that will support the arena project and bring a lot of activity in that district. In Midtown, the Ice Block project, from residential to ground floor retail. The Bridge District in West Sacramento, is going to continue their momentum, not just with the residential development in the Bridge District, but creating new activity on evenings and weekends. And the Rail Yards project, There are very few downtowns that really have, if you look at the square footage of the rail yards, it is roughly the size of the central business district, and it has an opportunity to almost double the square footage of the grid for us here. And key projects like the Kaiser Hospital that are going to go in there are going to be transformative, but I know Warren and his team, I think, are here from Sac Republic. The ability to fast forward and get done the MLS stadium and the rail yards has got to happen, and we should be doing everything we can to make that happen. Finally, the Streetcar Project. We talk a lot about connections in downtown and things we're doing to navigate people through the central city. The state recently funded an additional $30 million for the Downtown Streetcar Project, and we think it's going to be critical to connect West Sacramento, downtown, Old Sacramento through the Midtown grid. Property owners have communicated with us their support of that, and we're going to work with Mayor Steinberg and the partners to see that project move forward. We also saw the city commit about $100 million last year to the Community Center Theater and Memorial Auditorium, where we are now, and improvements that need to be made. But we also know we're not done with investment on that end of the K Street Mall. The Convention Center needs an investment, and when you talk to the folks at Visit Sacramento, they will tell you we are losing out on our competitive edge with national competition in our convention center. It needs a reinvestment. We need to analyze exactly what that investment is, but make sure that we stay competitive and continue to drive tourism downtown. People want to be here. I think that we're very focused on the residential component, but we must create an environment that makes housing and downtown support a lot of these key projects and economic development. We don't make housing easy. And I know we've got a number of housing developers in the room today, but you know, we talk a lot over the years of housing. Let's build more housing and do that. Last year, while we talked a lot about it, we really only added 200 units of downtown housing downtown. That's not enough. Downtown housing needs to be made easier. We need to do everything we can to try and remove some of the impediments, barriers, and obstacles from creating urban housing. Now, there's about 15,000 units either planned or proposed, and I think you're going to see us work very hard to continue to push those projects forward. Many of the most signature projects that are underway, projects like the Creamery, the Mill at Broadway, Aviva in Midtown, Township 9, Sacramento Commons, and other projects that are coming like 19th and J, 1430Q, 19Q, and Midtown Quarters will really add to that element. I know we've got folks here from Sutter Capital, and I don't know where they're at, but these guys deserve a huge round of applause for the development they did with the May project. There's a unique element with that project that's important to note. It brought housing back to the central portion of K Street there at 11th and K Street, but they did it with zero public subsidy and a totally market rate deal. And the thing that makes that exciting is we've said we'll know we made it in the way of downtown housing when many of these projects begin to pencil on their own and begin to cover the cost, and they've done a very good job on that project, and we hope to see many more projects like that moving forward. But we know amenities are important for downtown residents. We're going to hear today from our speaker, Peter Kageyama, that will talk a little bit about how small things matter. It's not just about the big vertical projects. It's about some of the smaller elements, things like the Art Hotel, Fashion Week, mural festivals, Parking Day, Dinner en Blanc, and the proposed characters on K Street. These things add a sense of place and community for downtown residents and employees, and we've got to do a better job of continuing to support those events. You know, we do a number of events as an organization downtown, almost 180 programming events through the year. We're in our 25th year with concerts in the park, holiday ice rink. The Old Sacramento does a tremendous job with the Theater of Lights program. And we also have 4 different farmers markets throughout the year. And so these give people a reason to come downtown, to stay downtown, expose them, hopefully to experiences that will make them come back. So the last comment I had, and one of the things we need is more places for people to come together. And I think you'll probably hear a little bit about this from our mayor, but we do a horrible job of engaging ourselves to the waterfront. And this community is surrounded by two waters. We've got a gym in Old Sacramento, but we really don't have an opportunity to really engage ourselves with the riverfront like we should. People love being close to water. They love gathering spaces, but downtown Sacramento and its potential, I don't think is going to be fully achieved until we really connect ourselves to the waterfront. So we've got some priorities next year. You'll see these up there. These are the things this organization is going to continue to work on. We are extremely excited of where we are as a community and our focus in this urban center. We think downtown clearly is on the right path, and I want you to watch this and understand we think this truly is our downtown.